What's going on, everybody? It's Nick at triple6serpents. I've been asked to make some videos, so I'm making one. I get frequently asked about what bedding to use, should I use paper towels, frequently asked questions about how to house a ball python. So we're going to be going over that. I'm going to have two options for y'all. They work for us great, so enjoy. Alright, so this enclosure I'm going to build tonight is going to be for a baby ball python up to about a year, but I would not go over a year in a tank this small. So if you have a bigger snake, of course, you can do the same thing just with a bigger cage. First, what you're going to have to get is a heat pad. I wouldn't recommend anything from Walmart or any Thrive. I've had bad experiences with Thrive, but ZooMed is a trusted reptile brand, and they work great. So you get you some of that, get you some aluminum tape to stick it to the bottom of the glass, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a second. So let me get this tank flipped around and I'll get back. So first things first, what you're going to do is you're going to determine which side that you want your hotspot on. I'll just say for whatever reason I want to put it on this side. We're going to set it and we're going to stick it. It has adhesive on the back and you will peel off, the film. But I'm going to tell you, once they heat up, they do not stick. They will fall off and you won't be getting heat. So then what I do is I just take my aluminum tape and just go around and tape it up real nice. Alright, once you've got everything taped down good and pressed really tight to the glass, you need to make sure that your cage that you're putting it in has a channel for the cord. If it does not have this channel, you just need to have a spacer between the bottom of this tank and whatever you're sitting it on, whether it be a table, a nightstand, or whatever. But you have to have some kind of airflow going through here while it's sitting on top of it. So either a channel or you need a spacer. And what you're probably going to want to do is get a thermostat. You can either put it under or on top of this, whichever you want. I put it underneath on my racks. See, I use racks, so I don't use tanks. So I have a thermostat right here that is connected to my heat tape. But that's a whole nother thing. So anyway, a thermostat would be ideal. But your snake is going to thermoregulate, which means if you have your water dish over here and your hide here, if it gets too hot, it's more than likely going to move. So it's going to either be on top of here or in the water. And those are good signs to know if it's getting way too hot right here. So keep an eye out for that when you first do it. And I'm going to also recommend that everybody that keeps reptiles obviously get a temp gun. It's going to tell you the temperature to whatever you point it at. So you absolutely have to have one of these. That is a necessity. But you're going to point it here and check your hot spot once you put your dirt or your paper towel, which I'm going to show you now. But again, if you want to get a thermostat, that is completely up to you. That would be the better option. I'm going to say if you don't get a thermostat, you need to check your heat pad regularly. I'd say like every 6 months or less if you're like me and you're scared your house is going to burn down. But you check it. Make sure it's not crunchy. Make sure it's not browning anywhere or discoloring. And if it is, chunk it and get a new one. But you don't want to risk that. So, okay, so this is the first method. It's the simplest method known to man. Literally, it's just paper towels. That's all you put in there is just paper towels. And what I like to do, I got a pump sprayer and I just spray it. That way it'll sit down really nice. and it's gonna dry, so don't worry. And literally, this is the simplest method. Put your hide and put your water bowl. Bam, done. That's it. Now I will say, if you do this for a long period of time and you don't ever use dirt and you know all that, you are going to have to soak your snake more than normal because it's going to need that humidity. So what I'm going to recommend doing is putting a humid hide in there. And you can never really have too much stuff in a snake's cage. They, you know, they like it. So they like to hide in all these places. They like to feel secure, especially a ball python. So what you're going to do is you're going to drill you a hole, cut you a hole right here. Just make sure it's easier to burn it with a wood burner or some kind of burning utensil. That way it doesn't have any sharp edges. But if you do cut it with a knife or a hole saw bit, just make sure the edges aren't really sharp, and make sure it's big enough for your snake to comfortably go in and out, and put your substrate in here, whether it be moss, you know, cocoa fiber, any damp substrate like that, because this is going to hold so much humidity. And if you can look, this is my isopods, but it's the only container I could find. But if you look in there, it's very humid. So when they need to shed or they need that moisture, they'll find that in there and they will go. So there's option one. All right, this is my favorite, the cocoa fiber. I recommend this to all of my friends for bedding. Anyone who messages me or asks me, cocoa blocks, cocoa hut, anything coconut, anything cocoa, I like to use it. So you just get it wet, but not dripping wet. And then I'll just spread it out real nice. This is my favorite because it's more natural, you know. They obviously don't live on paper towels in the wild, so. And for a hide, you can use anything. I mean, as far as, you know, like this right here is a clay tile from a roof from where I work, so free hides, that's cool. And you gotta, you know, this is a hide that I make. I get them out of soup containers. You get like the cups of noodles. See, it says fill line. You put the water in there, you cook your noodles. But I mean, that's a hide. You don't have to go spend all this money, you know. And then I'm gonna use this Fisher Price turtle water dish for the water. And with this, you don't have to use a humid hide, because what you're going to do is you're going to keep this continuously, you're going to spray it like every day. Anytime you notice that soil getting dry, you just, you know, give it a good little soak, and it'll stay pretty humid in there. And the, you know, if the snake needs more heat, it will move the dirt, or it will, you know, get away from the heat, whatever it wants. And I don't know if I stated this, I didn't think I really had to, but you're going to make sure everything that you put in here is clean. I use Dawn dish soap and hot water. I mean, you know, anything porous, pretty much anything for my animals, I use Dawn. So that's what I would use. I'm not going to recommend anything else but Dawn. Okay, this is the most important thing. I should have said this at the beginning, but I guess I didn't. You need a lid with a lock on it. That is the most important thing, is keeping your animal where it needs to be. So with this lid, let me get it like that. This lid, you have a pin. You literally, see, you know, that's not going to move enough for that baby ball python to get out of there. That snake cannot get out of that crack. So you take it out, slide it open. You're good to go. But I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a lock. If you cannot get a lock, then you need some kind of heavy weight that's not going to break the glass and safely sit up here to keep it from getting out, because they will get out. It's not if. If they can open this cage, if I do it like that, that snake can easily push that with its nose and get out, and it will. And then you're going to lose your snake, and that's not cool. So, locking lid. Alrighty, everybody. I just went and grabbed our Phantom Yellow-bellied Crowley. He's a good snake. I let my little 3-year-old hold him. He's such a good snake. But I'll put him in here. I went to charge my phone a little bit, and wouldn't you know it, brand new substrate. He just pooped. So that's great. So yeah, I mean, this is what it's going to look like. And again, you know, this is like just showing you that you don't have to have some crazy, you know, enclosure. This is it. This is your run-of-the-mill, you get what you get deal with this. Nothing fancy. I mean, yeah, you can go for something like this, which is bioactive with plants and all kind of decorations and hiding spots, you know. But if you're going to use plants, I would not recommend fake plants, at least not in a snake's cage. I have had experiences with snakes while they're eating, like start to ingest that, and it's just not fun trying to pull a fake plant out of a snake's mouth while it's got a rat in its mouth. It's just not fun. So I would do it like this. I mean, this is, you know, this is a good setup for a snake of this size. I wouldn't put a snake bigger than this. This snake's probably right at 500 grams. So, you know, I would much rather prefer him to be like in a 40-gallon or a big 50, a big nice enclosure, but this is just showing you don't have to have that. This snake can live happy in here until it gets big enough to go to a bigger one. And even that one can be, you know, super plain. If you get a bigger cage, you know, put more hides in it, more areas to hide and such. But yeah, I mean, this is it. Alright, that's it. I hope that answered some questions some of y'all had about substrate, shedding, humid boxes, hides, etc. If you have any more questions, feel free to message us on our Instagram, TikTok, or here on YouTube. I'll put the links to the other two in the description. We're going to be giving away a baby ball python at 500 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe if you're interested. Or if you want to see more content, and then go down below and watch our video on the rules of the giveaway so you don't miss out on your opportunity. I hope everyone has a good one. We'll talk to y'all soon. Later.